All right, everyone, welcome. You've already soldered everything together,
Yep.
but now we're going to figure out why.
Yeah, we're going to dig into the science behind it, all the circuits, the soldering, the whole 9 yards.
And who knows? Maybe you'll even walk away with some inspiration for your next awesome project.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's get started with circuits. So you've got all these wires and components connected, but what's actually happening in there? It's all about electricity, right? But it can be kind of hard to wrap your head around.
You know what helps me? I think of it like water flowing through pipes. Imagine your battery as a water pump.
Oh, I like that.
It creates the pressure that makes the water flow, right? That's kind of like voltage.
So voltage is the push behind the electricity. Got it.
Exactly. The Working with Metal booklet defines voltage as the force that drives electrical current. So higher voltage means more push, more electrical oomph.
Okay, so the battery pumps up the voltage, which provides the push. But what about the electricity itself? How does that actually move through the circuit?
That's where current comes in. Think of it as the water flowing through those pipes. The more water flowing, the stronger the current.
So current is the actual flow of electricity.
Right on. The booklet defines current as the flow of electrons through the circuit.
Okay, I think I'm getting this. Voltage is the push, current is the flow. But there's also something called resistance, right?
Bingo. Resistance is like a narrow spot in our water pipe analogy. It restricts the flow of water, so less water gets through.
So more resistance means less current can flow.
You got it.
Interesting. So how does this all relate to our awesome LEDs in the lamps?
Ah, yes. The LED, the star of the show. LEDs are pretty cool. They need just the right amount of current to light up.
What?
Too much current and you could fry it. Too
Yeah.
little and it might be super dim.
I see. So resistance helps us fine-tune the current to get the perfect glow.
Exactly. By choosing components with the right resistance, we can make sure our LED shines bright without burning out. Pretty neat, huh?
Totally. And to connect all those components and create those pathways with the right resistance, we use soldering, right?
You know it. We've all done it by now.
Yeah, definitely.
But let's break down each step in more detail, like they do in the booklet. First up, setting up our soldering iron. We got to get that thing nice and hot enough to melt the solder.
Makes sense.
Which, by the way, is a special metal alloy that melts at a lower temperature than the components we're joining.
So we're not melting the actual components, just the solder to bind them together.
Exactly.
Cool. So then we got to hold those parts we're soldering together. I feel like this part requires a super steady hand.
It definitely does. A little shaky hand can mess things up pretty quickly. Metal's a great conductor of heat, so you got to hold everything just right so it all heats up evenly.
Makes sense. You want a nice, strong connection.
Precisely. Okay, once you've got a good grip, it's time to bring in the heat.
This is where things get melty. It's so satisfying to watch the solder flow.
It is. But you got to be careful. Too much heat can damage the components. It's all about finding that sweet spot.
Okay, controlled heat. Got it. So then we actually introduce the solder, right? It's like the glue that holds everything together.
I like that, the glue. It's actually a filler metal, but yeah. When the solder melts, it flows into the joint and creates a bond between the components as it cools.
And when it all solidifies, boom, you've got your finished joint, a strong electrical connection, all thanks to soldering. Pretty cool.
Super cool. And now I think we're ready to tackle those homework questions.
You think so? I feel like we just had a crash course in electrical engineering.
But now we can put all that knowledge to good use.
Let's do it. Okay, first question. It asks about voltage in an electrical circuit. Didn't we cover that already?
Yep, we did. But let's nail down the definition. Voltage is the driving force behind electrical current, like the pressure in those water pipes. It's what pushes the electrons and gets them moving through the circuit.
Perfect. Next up, we've got what is current in an electrical circuit? This one's another easy one.
Totally. Think back to that flowing water. Current is just the flow of electrons through the circuit. More flow, more current.
Simple as that.
Okay.
Okay, next question. How is voltage used to create current in an electrical circuit?
It all goes back to that push. Voltage creates a difference in electrical potential energy. That difference is what creates the force that drives the flow of electrons, which we call current. No voltage, no push, no current.
Makes perfect sense. So how does resistance affect current?
Resistance is like that bottleneck in the pipe, remember. It restricts the flow of current. More resistance, less current.
Easy enough. And lastly, how does a current flowing through an LED affect its brightness?
Well, more current means more energy is being pumped into that LED so it shines brighter.
So like turning up a dimmer switch on a light.
Exactly.
This is all making so much more sense.
Yeah.
It's amazing how all these concepts fit together.
Right. And once you understand these basic principles, you can start to see how you can apply them to all sorts of different projects.
I know, it's not just about finishing this lamp.
Hmm.
It's about understanding the magic behind it and using that knowledge to create even cooler things in the future.
Exactly. And that's what being a maker is all about.
Until next time, happy making.
See ya. Bye.